So here's the topic for the night. 8 keys to maximizing your energy. Who would like to know 8 things to maximize their energy? Okay, amen. Those of you that don't want to learn them, you just fall asleep right now, and I'll just listen to the audio later. Okay, so here's the deal. Number 1 is this. I want you to set a goal, and really and truly all of us should have this goal in mind anyway, because what we're doing here is not just weight loss. Our goal needs to be more, it's a health benefit for us. We are in this to lose weight for a bigger reason than just I want to fit into a bikini. You know, some of you in here, when I talk to you about why you want to lose weight, I mean, there's people in here that are saying, I want to lose weight because, you know what, when my dad was 50, he died from a heart attack, and I'm 49. You know, I want to lose weight because I got 5 grandkids, and I don't think I'm going to be around to play with them. You know, I want to lose weight because, you know, I was told that my liver and kidneys are going to fail. Or I was going to have to lose weight because they said that's where my cancer is coming from. And it's true. Everybody has different reasons. So I want you to think about what you're doing in life and in health as about putting investments into your health account. Do you see what I'm saying? A lot of us invest in 401ks, we put money in the bank, we do all these things financially, but you need to think about your health as a health account. Start putting deposits into your health account. And here's the cool thing. When you put deposits in, you got enough stuff in there, every once in a while it's okay to make a little withdrawal. Y'all understand what I'm saying? It's okay if 80% of the time you're putting healthy stuff in your body, it's okay every once in a while to go and splurge a little bit. It's okay to go to the lake and have a good time. It's okay if you see Dr. Eric at Texas Roadhouse, next time I see one of you guys do this, I'm going to kick you, is that when there's a steak in front of me and a beer and say, hey, Dr. Eric, is that one of the 5 pillars of health? Because that happens all the time. And I'll say it is because I've done my 90% right or my 80% right. So number 1, I want you to all be thinking about that you've got to be putting investments into your health account. Does that make sense? What you're doing is an investment for your health, and understand that you all, whether you believe it or not, you all have influence over other people in the world, whether it's your kids or your grandkids or your nieces, your nephews, your spouse, somebody. So what they see you doing, they're like, you know what, that's a good thing. Maybe I should do that. And what a lot of us have in our lives, just like the guy who told me the other day, I want to lose weight because I'm 49 years old and my dad died when he was 50 of a massive heart attack. You know, he has a generational curse on his life because his grandfather died when he was 50 and his died when he was 40. So he needs to change that, and the only way to change that is to make some drastic change in your life, to take some action and do it. Lose weight, exercise, get the nutrients, do the stuff I'm going to teach you tonight. You guys tracking me? Okay, so that's number 1. Number 2 is this. Drink more water. Thank you. Very good. This is so important. And I'm going to talk about, so one of the keys is to drink water, but then one of the things to avoid is bad water, and I'm going to talk about that. But the thing is that we need our bodies to be hydrated properly. Depending upon what articles and research that you look at, our body is 70 to 80% water, fluids. If we get dehydrated, you know what signs and symptoms of dehydration are? Sore, stiff joints, headaches, heartburn, indigestion, gas, bloating, ADD, ADHD, diabetes, erectile dysfunction, insomnia, depression, anxiety, yada, 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 chronic pain, fatigue, all this other stuff. Who in here has ever heard of any of those things? I have so many people that once we tell them, and they believe me, and they say, okay, I'll try it. For 30 days, I'm going to drink the water that you're supposed to do. I'm going to do it. And in 30 days, I make a bet with them. A lot of times I have to, you know, it's unfortunate. I just have to bet. So I'll say, hey, look, here's the deal. I'll bet you a steak dinner anywhere in St. Louis, but you got to take me up on this deal. If you drink half your body weight in ounces of water every day, for 30 days, and you don't feel better, your blood pressure doesn't go down, you don't look better, and just things aren't different, I'll take you out to dinner, steak dinner, anywhere you want in St. Louis. And everybody goes, well, all right, we'll do that. But you know what usually happens after about 2 weeks of it? 2 weeks, one of 2 things either happens. Number 1, they come in and go, hey, doc, you know what? I just got to tell you, you know how I was constipated before? Well, I'm not. You know, I didn't believe you about this water thing, but it works. I don't know why you don't believe me. I mean, you know, that's why we need it. Or the guy says, well, you know, I just, instead of drinking water, I just, you know, I took your fluid advice, but instead of drinking Budweiser or Bud Heavy, I drink Bud Light. I'm like, well, that's not going to help. But you see what I'm saying? We got to have proper fluids in our system because it starts your metabolism, and you need to have water first thing in the morning. Does that make sense? First thing in the morning, you got to get some hydration in your body. So just set a goal of drinking more water. And listen, I don't care how you do it. I've got patients of mine that are so adamant about getting their proper hydration levels in their body because they understand the benefits of it. You've seen these people. They carry around these ginormous things that look like a 80-ounce soda thing, but well, it's my water, just my water. I had a guy that I went to chiropractic college with, goofy dude, smart guy, but goofy. A lot of times that goes hand in hand, doesn't it? He kept a stopwatch around his neck, and every 30 minutes, his stopwatch would go off, and he'd grab his thing of water and go glug, 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 and it was a gallon. He'd like a gallon of water. He'd drink 2 gallons of water every day. One of the ripped up, healthiest guys in the world I'd ever met. Now, some of you are thinking, well, my doctor says I shouldn't drink water because I have high blood pressure. Well, that is ridiculous on every level. You shouldn't drink water because you have high blood pressure? Well, my doctor gave me a water pill. Well, you know what you need to do with that water pill? You need to go ask your doctor, why are you taking that water pill? Because you know what a water pill does? What's it make you do? It's a diuretic. It makes you pee nonstop. So it dehydrates you that's what it does. Its whole purpose in life is to dehydrate you, suck the water out of you. Did you know that the majority of people are holding water because they're dehydrated? Did you know that? So think about this. You've heard this before. People who don't eat, they go on a starvation diet. They maybe eat one meal a day, and they wonder why they can't lose weight. Because they're only eating one meal a day. How can I not lose weight? Well, what do? They gain this belly fat, don't they? And it's hard to lose because the body goes into starvation mode. Guess what? The body's smart. It goes into dehydration mode. And guess what? When you drink water, it doesn't store it in the abdomen and all these. It stores it in the ankles, the feet, the knees, and the fingers. Oh, I can't get my rings off. I got too much salt in my diet. No, that's ridiculous. And anyone who understands physiology properly knows that you need proper hydration in your diet, period. I can't beat that horse any deader. Drink some dang water. Make sense? Please. It'll help you a ton. This is another pearl. It'll help you. Okay, this is important right here. I want to make sure that your diet that we're doing, your food choices, includes good natural fiber inside of it. Fiber. Okay, some people were telling me, Doc, I'm not, I used to go to the bathroom 3 times a day, and now I go 1 time a day if I'm lucky because y'all are eating less food. And then I say, okay, I totally understand. Understand that input equals output. It's not going to come out if it doesn't go in. And so what are you eating other than your shakes? Well, I'm just eating my shakes. You know what the best fiber that you guys can have for snacks? And I've told you this before. What's the healthiest fruit I told you can eat? Green apples. Green apples is a phenomenal source of enzymes, pectin, and then get some golden ones. But it's a phenomenal source of fiber. The other source of fiber that you can get if you're bound up, and we have it here at the office, is called rice fiber. Rice fiber. Stabilized rice bran or rice fiber is phenomenal. You can just take a pill or a powder, suck it down, and it keeps everything moving. Because we want to keep things moving. Because part of the deal is that your body's going to metabolize and digest fat, and we want to push that out of your body, and we have to have proper fiber for that. Does that make sense? Okay, good. That's super important. I don't need to beat that. Now, here's the deal a big one. Supplement your daily meals with vitamins, minerals, and enzymes. We've talked about this already. The Vi shakes, I love them. One of the reasons why I love them so much is because they have a really good amount of vitamins and minerals in it. Now, they don't have a lot of enzymes in it. Anything that's powdered, it doesn't have enzymes in it. Because enzymes, if it was powdered, y'all know what an enzyme is? Okay, so real quick. Vitamins and minerals are like your building blocks for your house. It's like you're going to build a house, it's your wood and your nails and your stuff. But somebody has to put that together. That's what enzymes do. They take your vitamins, minerals, and nutrients, and they put them inside your cells. And they help your body make stuff. Does that make sense? Like in an apple, you ever drop an apple, you pick it up, set it on the counter, and then next day it's brown? That's an enzyme inside there. When a cell breaks, there's enzymes inside of there. So what happens is a lot of the processed foods that are out there, stuff that you buy on the outsides of the grocery store, on the insides of the grocery store, stuff that's on the shelves, it keeps forever. Why is that? Because there's no enzymes in there. Now, when they powderize this stuff, there's still enzymes in there. That's why it has an expiration date on it, but they're not live and active like live fruits and vegetables are. Does that make sense? Which is why I always put fruits and vegetables in my shakes, because it makes it more of a live food. So, if you don't, those of you, I think everyone in this room is being seen by me on a regular basis, where we do the vitamins and nutrients and the urine test to find out what your deficiencies of supplements are. If they're not a real simple urine test, y'all can come in and we'll do that. Okay, a urine test will show me what your vitamin levels are, what you're deficient in, tells us a ton. I had a couple of patients that are in here right now that came and did that today. I think they were surprised with what they found, and which is good because now we're like, let's fix this. You're low on these vitamins. We fix that vitamin. Now your body can metabolize better, which is good. When we can find the answer, we can fix it. You see? Okay, so here's another thing, and everybody should be doing this, and I haven't talked about this enough. In order to burn fat, you have to eat fat. Okay, so listen, here's the deal. In order to burn fat, you have to eat fat. You need good fat. You know what good fats are? Fish oils. Omega-3 fish oils, flaxseed oils, anything that's omega-3s or omega-9s. Flax oil, fish oils, those kind of things are phenomenal. Avocados are really good. Those are good oils to have. That's why I tell people to put the avocados in their deal. Don't put the rind in your shake. I had a couple people that did that, and they're like, man, this avocado is horrible. I'm like, what'd you do? I just put the whole thing in there. It took me 15 minutes to blend it up. I'm like, you might want to change your blade because there's like a brick inside of an avocado, if you guys have ever seen that. Like, man, that was like a weird tasting deal. She's like, what did she say? She says, tasty something my butt or something, whatever. I'm like, she didn't say butt, but anyway, I'm going to keep it PG. But omegas, and here's the deal, is that everybody on a daily basis, if you're getting good 2 to 3 to 4 grams a day of omega-3 oils in your diet, you can go to the store, you can put this in your shake. You can get, it's called Barleans, I believe is the name of it. It's a kind of omega oil you can get. We have some at my house, and there's a strawberry flavored or a lemon flavored. It's liquid. You can just pour a spoonful of it, teaspoon of it into your shake, and that's the equivalent of 3 to 4 grams a day of your oils. And that's a good way, those of you that have kids, to get the kids to get those omega-3 oils in their body. It's super important. Does that make sense? We got to have oil. We got to have fat to burn fat. Okay, we need that. Super important. All right. Okay, here's another thing. Let's start talking about exercise. Remember I said for the first 2 weeks of the program, I don't want anybody doing, and that's when everybody gets up and walks out. I knew it. He said we didn't have to work out. Here's the deal is, for the first 2 weeks during the program, I don't want anybody to change their routine. If you're already working out, you're already exercising, go ahead and stay with that because your body's used to it. But if for the first 2 weeks, your body's going through a whole new process. The liver's starting to burn fat. So if you try to overstimulate your system by working out too much or doing too many things, guess what's going to happen? Your body's going to shut down. You're not going to burn fat. Okay, because you got to get used to this new demand. So after the first 2 weeks, now it's time to start exercising. Now, when I say exercise, it doesn't have to mean, you don't have to go join the gym. You don't have to go, 8 days a week and kill yourself. You don't have to. You can simply walk 15 minutes that way, turn around and walk back every day. You can simply do things like, okay, instead of taking this to the elevator, take the stairs at work. Little bitty things build up. 15 minutes a day of good continuous activity is enough. It's enough to get started. Okay. Now, if you want to take your health to really a high level, then obviously, you're going to have to do more things. The more proper exercise that you put in your body, the better it's going to be. But you don't need to be doing a lot of hardcore, high impact exercises. And those of you that want some exercises that you can start doing, let me know, let Katie know, let us know. We'll email you some. It's no big deal. We've got all that access to all those things. We'll help you with it. We have a partnership with the local gym, Exist Fitness. Okay, you go to Exist Fitness locally. There's one in Concord Plaza. You tell them that you're a patient of our office, so they'll give you, they'll wine you, dine you, they'll do the whole 9 yards. They'll show you what's going on, and for $10 a month, you can be a member there. I mean, come on, you're saving more on that on food every month because of the products you're doing. And then you can get personal trainers, all that stuff. You can do whatever you want, but that's how you take it to the next level. So once people start seeing weight loss, they're like, hey, I'm starting to look good. I want to firm this up a little bit, because there's nothing worse, and I'm going to totally attest to this. There's nothing worse than being on the boat and being the skinny fat guy, if you know what I mean. You've lost a bunch of weight, but things are kind of sagging a little bit. Do some push-ups and things, and that'll clear that right up. Trust me. Okay. There's a whole workshop that I do on exercise, and we'd be happy to send that stuff to you. You just have to ask for it. Okay. And I'll answer questions about exercise at the end. This is another important thing. This is the last thing. This is number 8. Stress is a killer, right? I just did a workshop, and it's actually up front. If you guys want to get it, you can. The workshop is called The Causes of the Cure. The number one cause of all sickness, disease, death, and illness is stress, okay? And stress robs our body, and I'm not talking just emotional. I'm talking physical, chemical, and emotional stress, okay? And our body doesn't discriminate. It looks at it all the same. So when your body's under that kind of stress, guess what happens? Cortisol levels get up high. Our brain level dysfunctions. Our metabolism goes down. We start craving bad foods. We start getting in this negative spiral. So good stress management will help you a ton. Now, what all do you have access to that will help you with stress management? The Q Dreams. Okay? You don't have to be a Zen yogi master to sit in a corner and just chive to get your body balanced. You just pop those earbuds in, and 20 minutes later, you're on the highest mount of all those monks can get to. You know what I mean? It'll mellow you out. So you've got to have good stress management. And I'm telling you, all of us are just as guilty as the rest. I mean, there's times when I need my staff or my family, usually it's my wife, to check me and say, you better go listen to your Q Dreams. You're a little bit too much today. Everybody needs to do that. All right. So those are the 8 things to maximize your energy. Now, do not throw bricks at me. Do not cuss at me. But here are the top 10 foods to avoid. And I'll give you the whys too. Now, my pastor taught me this. He said, hey, all things in moderation, even moderation, it's written in the Bible. And I said to him, where's that written at? And he showed me his Bible. He turned to the first page. It says, pastor, and then I won't say his name, but it says his name there. And then in pencil, it says, all things in moderation, even moderation. He goes, look, I wrote it in. It's got to be true. It's in the Bible. So the deal is this. What I'm about to tell you is true, but I will tell you this as well. All things in moderation, even moderation. Okay? So again, if you're putting money into your health investment account, then occasionally you could do these things and it's okay. Because I know I'm going to hear some people go, oh, that's it. I knew he was crazy. They told me. Don't go see that guy. Okay, so here's the number one. This is true for everybody, but especially kids. One of the things that we all should avoid is this. We really need to avoid high-fat luncheon meats, like pork products especially. Things like bacon, sausage, hot dogs, and pepperoni. Here's why. Inside of those things is something called a nitrite. You guys ever heard of that before? Okay. Sodium nitrites, when combined with certain foods, but really anytime, it's a toxin. We have a couple biochemists, I think 2 in this room right now, that could talk about this, but they're toxins, they're stresses. The body sees them as foreign invaders. So what happens is when you eat something and the body sees it as a foreign invader, it mounts an immune system response to a food. Okay, this is a food. So when that happens over time, over long periods of time, you eating these things, the immune system goes in the tanker. And there's actually research that shows, we were just talking about this on my radio program the other day, that hot dogs, the sodium nitrites in there, actually have a direct linkage to kids and leukemia, which is a really interesting thing. They're actually saying if kids eat, I have to look and see, gosh, I don't want to misquote this, but I think it's like 12 or more hot dogs a week. Kids, I don't know, but it's a lot of hot dogs equals leukemia. I have to look it up and see, but I just was talking about it the other day. That's pretty crazy. The sodium nitrites that are in there, it's not good, it's not healthy, and guess what happens? Sodium, y'all heard of sodium, that's the salt, the table salt that people talk about, that clogs your cells. Literally, remember, your cell is a big circle when you eat just sodium, not sodium with everything else in it, but just sodium, it'll clog that cell, and the cell gets sick and dies, because it basically makes the cell wall hard so bad stuff, toxins can't get out and good stuff can't get in. And we're as healthy, our health is directly determined upon how healthy our cells are. Does that make sense? So the high fatty luncheon meats is something. Now there's luncheon meats that you can eat, which are good and fine, but it's the high fatty ones like the bacon, the sausage, the hot dogs, the pepperonis, anything that has high levels of sodium nitrites. You need to avoid that. Again, it's a high increase with cancer, autoimmune issues, you name it. Okay, number 2, this is where a lot of times people go. You need to remove as much as possible shellfish from your menu.
Oh, I've never eaten.
These are, so John's like, that's it, I'm out here. These are, now listen, here's why. Shellfish like crawdads, which, how many of y'all ever been to crawdad bowl? I got New Orleans buddies, we've done that, In moderation, you're fine. What else? Lobster, shrimp. Why?
It's on the list.
But listen, moderation, you're fine. With that kind of, again, listen, here's the deal. The deal is this. Do you know why? Do you know what those animals eat? Those animals are scavengers. They live off the floor. They live off of the bottom of the ocean. They're scavengers. So here's the problem. The problem is, that's right, they're eating poop. They're eating poop, but you know what else they're eating? They're eating the toxins that we dump in the water. Remember when, and I don't talk about it anymore, and it still happens all the time, but I remember years and years ago they used to talk about, they would find people dumping like toxic waste into the ocean. Well, that still happens. There's still waste out there. All that stuff gets absorbed by these animals, and then next thing you know, we get it. You are what you eat. If you eat poop, guess what? You're going to have a really poopy diet. No pun intended. That's as dirty as I'm going to get tonight. But that's what I want to tell you. Now listen, here's another thing. This will blow a lot of people's mind. Because a lot of times we don't eat a lot of lobsters. So a good buddy of mine says, lobster? Why would you ever eat that? Now he's got a New York accent. He says it's the cockroach of the ocean. He says, really? Now you think about it, they really are. And you know another thing that is here's the deal. In seafood, that's bad because they're river bottom or they're bottom feeders. But you know what are bottom feeders that we eat a lot of around here? Catfish, buffalo fish. Yeah, well, in moderation, you're okay. But guess what? That stuff is so bad for you, it's not even funny. Like some people say this. Some people say, gosh, man, I just love me some crack cocaine. But it's bad for you. I mean, you know what I'm saying? Sorry, John. All things in moderation. Okay, let me back that up. Do not have crack cocaine. That is not a good way to lose weight. It is, but it's not the way you want to do it. But you understand what I'm saying? Okay, in moderation, you're okay. Just listen. This is not. You take it up with the good Lord because that's the way He made it.
the raised catfish?
So farm raised, okay, free range is actually the best. Farm raised, the way they raise those farm raised fish is more disgusting than, because literally they put all these giant fish in this little bitty pen and all they do is poop and eat all day, and they don't know what's poop and they don't know what's eat, and they just get it all. It's worse. So if you're gonna have it, try to get free range. Try to get it straight from the ocean if you can. It's just moderation, you know? I mean, I remember growing up as a kid, you know, I grew up on a hog farm, okay, and I just told you don't eat pork. Right? And we would, like, every Friday and Saturday, it was a ritual at our house. We'd have like 5 or 6 liters of Mountain Dew on our table, and we'd have, you know, it'd be shrimp. It's shrimp Friday and shrimp Saturday. You know, that's the deal. And I remember when I was as a kid, my mom saying, man, you know, my mom, my dad, my aunts and uncles, they'd all sit at the table and they'd all take their rings and their watches and their shoes off. I'm like, why is everybody doing this? They're like, we ain't gonna be able to take it off in the morning, so we gotta take it off now. That's because they get so swollen with the sodium. And now I'm looking at like, oh my gosh, that's crazy. You know what I mean? In moderation, it's okay. But you gotta understand that stuff will kill you. And what are we talking about? We're talking about losing weight by being healthy. So I'm trying to give you some pearls, you see? So yes, shrimp is on my list because it's a leaner food, it's a safer food.